Hello everybody, it's me again, the Nutty Professor, and I'm here with the Corvette en route to the garage and house yet again, another field trip. Once again, not bringing the twins, have errands to do, and it's very hot, and I'm coming in the Corvette. So, I did try having the roof down for the first 10 minutes of the journey, but it was so hot. I put up the roof and turned on the air conditioning. So right now I'm at the West Lorne Service Centre between London and Chatham. So a couple more exits to where my storage garage is, and it looks like there is a forecast for thunderstorms. So it's getting a little bit, I can feel the moisture, and it's getting a little cooler now. And I'm just going to leave the, I don't know, maybe I will put the hood down for this last little stretch. So I get a little bit of hood down driving until I get to the garage. Then the plan is to drop this, pick up the Cadillac. It needs some exercise. Hopefully it's not infested with mice. And I did buy mothballs, I remembered. I'm going to put some mothballs in the Mercedes. And one of my cat person friends was going, maybe you should get the twins to take care of the mice, the garage or at the house. And I'm like, my twins, I don't think so. They'll just want to play with the mice, and probably the mice will be more friendly than their sister, So, but anyway, I wasn't going to do this, but I seem to have a small number of people watch my podcast, even when they're really mundane. I get like 60 views on the last one. So, same thing I said before. If somebody wants to watch them, fine. If you don't want to watch it, fine. If you want to skip all this rambling and get to the food part. Now, I don't know what I'm going to eat on the way back. That's, I may just get takeout and eat in the car. I'll have the Pacifica on the way back. I'm picking up the Pacifica because I've got some cat volunteering to do on the weekend. So, anyway, I'm going to take a little bit of footage and then decide whether to post or not to post. Maybe post over the weekend. We'll see. So next stop, garage. I gotta put mothballs in the Mercedes, but I won't take it out. And the I'll take the Cadillac, have a little cruise, half an hour drive to the house. Hopefully it won't be raining and thunderstorming so that I can cut the grass, or hopefully I get there before the rain. Cut the grass, see the work at the house. And that's another reason I'm taping this, so that I sort of have a record of the progress. And let's see whether he's been there 3 days this week. So let's see how noticeable the progress is, or if it's still subtle. Anyway, next stop, garage. Bye for now. Of course, I put down the hood at the service center, and I get right on the highway, and within a minute it starts raining. So I had to kind of make it to the next exit, and I'm just on the ramp here, and I got out, I raised the hood. So it's another 15 minutes or so to the garage, but so much for the top-down drive. Now, the other thing is that the song Might Not, Belly in the Weekend is playing, so I'm going to crank it up. This is a song that I mentioned in one of my earlier podcasts, relating to my previous, party days. Really good song, Might Not. Anyway, talk to you at the garage. Bye for now. Turn it off. Where's it off? Hello, everybody. Me again. I'm now at the garage, and I came in the Corvette with the hood up right after we last spoke. I rejoined the highway. It started to rain. I rejoined the highway, and then I realized I was going the wrong way. I was going back towards Toronto. So I had to go past the service centers again, and then turn around and backtrack. But and of course, as soon as I put up the hood, it stopped raining, and now it's become warm and and dry. But the good thing is that even if it's rained at the house, it will be dry by now, so I can go cut the grass. So I got here, opened the garage door, took out the Cadillac, and I'm going to take the Cadillac now back. So this is the 97 Cadillac Concours. We haven't yet done a podcast on this one. I might do one myself, a self-tape podcast, because, it's an interesting story, actually. It's a nice car. Not exactly my own taste, but my father really loves this car. And it's like driving the living room. It's in very good shape. It was, the top of the line for its time. And there was an interesting story of how we got it. So, we weren't even looking for it. My neighbor at my previous condo, before I got my house in Toronto, came and asked if we wanted to buy it because her husband had passed. So I'll tell more about that story, when I do an informal podcast on it. So now, what I did was I came here and I had bought mothballs, and I bought 3 packets at a store in Toronto before I left, and I have put them in the Mercedes is now smelling of mothballs, but it's better than smelling of mouse shit, So what I've done is I've put the mothballs on the floors, on the floor mats, and on paper on the seats, and in the central console where they seem to enjoy playing. And I've thrown some underneath the cars. We used to do that when we stored them for the winters, discourage them from, settling under the cars and then climbing up through their engine and chewing cables and chewing wires, whatever. So I've still got 1 packet remaining. I put it up here. So I've got 1 packet of these things remaining, so I might put it in the other cars when I come back before I leave. We don't really want mice. So mothball thing is done. I've taken the Cadillac out already. Now I just have to put the Corvette in, and I'll go to the house in the Cadillac. Fortunately, the air conditioning works. My father actually spent quite a bit of money when he was here on the air conditioning of that car, because that's one of the things that he really wants air conditioning. Even if we don't use the cars, even if it just mostly sits there, he really likes to have functioning air conditioning. So, so he spent quite a bit of money on it. Probably more than the car's worth, but, it's nice now. I am enjoying the air conditioning in the Cadillac, so I'm going to cruise half an hour to the house, cut the grass, come back, and then leave the Cadillac and take this one, Pacifica, because, as I said, I've got some cat volunteering to do on the, some cat chauffeuring to do on the weekend. So I will come back, pick up this car, and then the question is, where am I going to eat in London? You get one of my regular places. Am I going to go in? Am I going to get takeout? I know this is a major decision of the day, but we'll deal with that later. It's got like 4 hours before that, 5 hours. So anyway, heading now to the house, okay? Bye for now. At some point, first my house has to get completed. That's much more important. But at some point, I will get my contractor to, put some... It doesn't really need drywall, but something to cover the insulation and clean up the garage a little bit, even though nobody sees it except myself. But now I'm showing it in podcasts, so maybe I should get a little bit more presentable. Anyway, into the Cadillac, and bye for now. I'm now in Ridgetown, Ontario. So here I am in the Cadillac Concours, and I've got the air conditioning on, so now I am quite grateful to my father for spending thousands of dollars on the air conditioning, because I am making use of it today. So it's like 32 degrees outside. So this is Ridgetown, Ontario, and I just wanted to stop here for a second to talk about, and that's, I think a town hall or something like that. I don't know. There's one traffic light, so maybe I'll get out of the car. There's one traffic light in town, so it's a smaller town than the other one. There's one traffic light, there it is down there, and I know a guy, my previous handyman, he would drive, I think, 10 miles out of his way, and go around that way to avoid the one traffic light in this town. And as I said last time, that Blenheim has 4 or 5 traffic lights, and here they only have a Foodland. There we have Food Basics and Sobeys and Canadian Tire. So it's a big town. So hello everybody, it's me again. Not quite at the house yet. Passed through Blenheim, and after Blenheim, but before Erio and before the house is a car wash. We call it the Lagoon Car Wash because this is Lagoon Road, and this was my father's favorite car wash, I think, in all of Ontario, because it gave a lot more time than the car washes in Toronto. And when we were here at the cottage, at the house, I used to joke that most people come to the cottage and they spend time on the beach. We come to the cottage and we wash cars. But rather than bother with hoses and stuff on the driveway, we just, it's a 5-minute drive here, and you used to get for $2, you used to get like 8 minutes or something. It's gone up to $3 now, but it's still and I think you get 6 minutes, but it's still quite a lot, So I realized that I was podcasting, showing the car, and I'm planning on sending the link to my parents. They don't know how to use a computer, but someone in their household does, and does show the podcast to my parents. And one of the purposes now of the podcast is, for the everyday things I can share with my parents, like the trips to the house and the progress on the house and the cars, the shuffling of cars in the garage. And this was what we used to do. This was our family activity. When my parents were here, we would come, we'd leave Agitha in the house, and we'd come here and we'd wash cars and take this to 2 and then wash them and then take them to the garage, bring up another 2, come back here, wash them, go to the house, go have something to eat and Rio, come back to Agitha, and the next day do some more car stuff, and maybe go cruising with the car club, go to car shows. There were no car shows last year because of COVID and stuff. I think they may be back this year, but I'm not staying out here, so I'm not going to go to any. But anyway, the car is clean. Fortunately, I had a wiping cloth in the car. So this is the 97, and as I said, I will do a proper podcast on it someday. But this is the 97 Cadillac Concours. So now it's very hot out here. So I'm going to get back into the air condition, drive to the house, take a quick look at the changes inside, and then cut the grass, and then drop this car back. At least it's clean. You know what? I think the air looks a little low. I bought a fancy compressor in the winter, but I don't think it's working anymore. I don't think I was using it properly anyway, but it looks low to me. There is an SO. I think I'll have to pay the $250 or whatever it is. I've got change, and top up the air. So I'd have to go buy another compressor one that I can figure out how to use. Anyway, bye for now. See you at the house. Off. I'm here at the house. You can see kind of the lake in the distance. I just checked my mail. There is a flyer with coupons for Harveys. So maybe I'll get a veggie burger at, Harveys in London on the way back. Now you can see that the grass does need cutting. I'm kind of glad I came today. It did rain here, but it has dried up. And you can see, how big my grass is compared to the neighbors. Neighbors had it cut, I think, just today. So I'm going to head in, and take a quick look inside. Then I'll come out, open the garage, take the lawnmower out, and cut the grass. So let's see what kind of changes have occurred in the house since the last visit. They're relatively subtle. I think there may be another coat. The paint looks, yes, I think there might be another coat in here. I think he's been working in trim. He came 3 days this week, so quite a bit of work has been going on. Yes, I can definitely see. I mean, there's been a second coat in here, and he's getting it ready just to put the trim, So, and I think he did some painting on that. There was an exposed beam there. It was kind of messy before, so that's one of the extras that I'm getting. And they're relatively subtle, but it's moving. I mean, let's take a quick look upstairs. I have a feeling that there's like second coat stuff going on up here too. So yes, definitely. It looks, I think that the upstairs painting is done. As far as I can tell, this is, I can smell too, this paint, So I think that the upstairs, all of this is done. So I think that the upstairs second coat is completely done, So now, and I think most of the downstairs is done. So he's going to now put on the trim. I think he's got everything ready to put the trim on. And, he's been painting the trim. And then, I think he's going to start on the kitchen cabinets. Yeah. So, and I have to buy the appliances. I put a down payment 3 years ago, like $400. So I'm going to have to go back and see if they're going to honor that. It's been 3 years. But anyway, so this is the house. It is coming along. This, I think he's been kind of cleaning up the hardwood too. It's looking better, So, and then this is a balcony. You can look out. You can see the lake out there. So I'm going to go out, cut the grass, then take the lock the door, just check it. A little obsessive compulsive, but not checking it 48 times. I'm checking it like 4, 5. It's locked. It's definitely locked. Now, the grass has been cut, well, didn't cut itself, I cut it, but the grass is cut, and you can see it's looking a lot better than it was, and there. I'm back at the storage garage here, and I've done a minor shuffle already. I took the Pacifica out, transferred stuff, and I'm just about to, and I put the Corvette back in the garage on the. Why are you going that way? I don't know this thing, So Corvette is back in the garage. Here, on the right side, battery disconnected. I've got a switch thingy. The Porsche's here. It has to be towed next time or time after. It's not starting. I'm hoping it's just a tune-up. And the Mercedes has mothballs in it now. Smelling of mothballs, but it's better than smelling of mouthful. So I am now going to. Hello, everybody. Here I am in London, Ontario, and I just missed Babylon Pizza and Shawarma for their falafel by like a couple of minutes. He had just locked the door and he kind of gestured to me and I said, fine, So this is the Harveys and I do have the coupon. I'm getting a veggie burger. I'm not going to show it to you because, that's kind of standard. So I'm getting, I ordered it at the drive-thru, but because it's a veggie burger, she said you have to pull it into one of the spots and it'll take 5 minutes. And I said, okay, fine. And then I just said, and she said, toppings, and I said, lettuce, onion, tomato, jalapeno, hot pepper, extra jalapeno, extra hot pepper, hot sauce, and anything else hot you can think of. And she said chipotle sauce, and I said, fine, put chipotle. So it's still not going to be particularly hot, but, it's better than having a fillet of fish at McDonald's. So you don't get anything there to spice it up. So now this is London, Ontario. There's a Chapters here that I often come to on my way back. And there's a Chop there that I have stopped in at several times on my way back from the house. And after my father's accident, and then he was released, and just before they left for India, he had to come see his surgeon again for a final checkup before they left the country. And so this was like 4 months later. And afterwards, when my father was in the hospital, and the hospital is just up there, Victoria. Excellent hospital. I mean, I really am still very grateful to them for, the surgeries on my father and how successful they were and how well they looked after him. He was there for a whole month, and he used to complain about, hospital food because it was very bland. And so when we came for that last checkup, before that, he came for checkups, and he had to come by a special, wheelchair accessible van that was covered by insurance, all that stuff. So anyway, but the last checkup afterwards, and he was walking. He had a walker, and my mother also had a walker, and they. And I think I had come with my mother a couple of times to chop while my father was in the hospital. So, and I think that was one of the last meals out we had in Canada, because, they left, I think, the day after, 2 days after, and we had a very nice meal there. And I think I had chicken that time. So that was... and I was still drinking then, so I had a glass of wine. I think I got my father. I mean, he's a non-drinker, but I think I got. I mean, after all the stuff he had been through, I think that he would occasionally have a glass. He likes Smirnoff Ice because it tasted more like lemonade. And I think I get him to try a sparkly wine or something, So that was kind of, was a nice meal. So I'm going to have my veggie burger and fries, and the Coke is already here. And it's another one of those instances where she said, is Pepsi okay? And I go, fine. Even though it's really not okay, but it'll do. And then I can take my diabetes meds, and then I'm not going to get home to the kids till almost 11. But it's like 9:15 here. And I have to get gas as well. So, but anyway, I'm not going to show the food. As I said, it's standard fare. So this has been Nutty Professor on